I don't think I'm late to the party with this, y'all are just too early. Hey forum, Manny back here with another video on the CascadeScents fragrance station, and this one is on my top 10 spring fragrances. But as always, before we get on with everything, the goal for this video is 500 likes. If we reach that goal, I'll randomly PM a single subscriber within the comment section below, as you'll be the recipient of an assorted niche fragrance sample pack. You can only enter the contest once per YouTube account, so please do not leave more than one comment, and please make sure that your YouTube account is enabled to send and receive messages, and that you're subscribed to this channel if you aren't so already. Now forum, we have a lot of fragrances to talk about for my favorite season here in spring, but just so you know, this list is not one of those go out and buy this lists. These offerings are just ones that I'm most excited to use for this season, so at most these are all suggestions for you to all try first, not buy first. But hey, if you really like what you're testing and you like how it develops off of you and you decide to buy it, then hey, I'm your biggest fan. But with that being said, again, we have a lot to get through, so let's get to my number 10 finally, shall we? Here's Amber Pour-Homme by Prada. Now, why did APH make this list? Well, it's my belief that everyone needs an inoffensive, clean/soapy scent to defer to for the workplace, and this is just the one that I connect with the most. Like, you'll see other soapy scents from other brands that kind of lean dish soapy, which I think is awesome and super fresh for the beaches and all of that in the summer, but I'm looking for that Dove bar of soap creaminess that is almost vanilla-y in its soapiness for the spring that I verbatim get here. So overall, APH is a great option for the workplace, and it'll last me a good 6 to 8 hour workday. That's why it's on the list at number 10. Again, it's Amber Pour-Homme by Prada. Alright, motoring along now, here we go with the number 9 spot. Here's GERANIUM pour Monsieur by Frédéric. Now, why did GPM make the list? Currently, this is my favorite masculine, brazen, almost barbershop-like fragrance. Now, some of you may be asking what I mean by barbershop, so here, what I mean is that GPM smells somewhat like that old school, clean barbershop vibe that you'd find in those shaving creams, soaps, and whatnot. Somewhat minty, somewhat spicy, somewhat floral, but altogether a great masculine, clean scent. Perfect for a mild spring morning in a leather jacket or smart casual wear where you're just going about your day and feeling good about yourself. So if you're maybe looking for an alternative retro style on masculine cleanliness, check this out if you've yet to. Again, it's GERANIUM pour Monsieur by Frédéric at number 9. Moving along on to my number 8 spot now, here's Italian Citrus by DS and Durga. Now, why did Italian Citrus make the list? I think everyone needs dominant citrus scents in their fragrance rotation, but you especially need one for spring that will actually last on you, and for me, that's Italian Citrus. And I'm going to presume it's because the brand DS and Durga is not just using one kind of citrus, but many here, like lemon, blood orange, and green mandarin. Some are sweeter than others, some are more bitter, and I feel like I get that variations of citrus, which altogether feel more complex, fuller smelling, and thus longer lasting. Also, there's this pleasant hint of musk towards the dry down stage, which is equally lovely and I think helps with its longevity. So overall, super bright and super versatile stuff for the most sunniest mornings this spring. That's why it makes the list at number 8. Again, it's Italian Citrus by DS and Durga. Check this out already too if you also want a safe yet alternative take on citrus fragrance. Moving on to my number 7 now, here it is, it's Mediterranean Neroli by Ermenegildo Zegna. Now, why did MN make the list? Well, it's the only Neroli scent that I can honestly say that I actually really love. Honestly, forum, I'm not the biggest Neroli fan. Neroli is a citrus floral ingredient that comes off as slightly bitter, yet citrusy and clean simultaneously. It's not like I dislike its style vibe, it's not remotely bad for me. I just never really fell head over heels for it, but the way it's done here, I pretty much did. And overall, MN feels slightly old school with the other traditional fresh green notes like cypress and petitgrain, but also modern as well with the fresh bergamot citrus. As a result, if I had to pick one preferred daytime suit scent on this list, this would have to be it. That's why it's on this list at number 7. Again, it's Mediterranean Neroli by Ermenegildo Zegna. On to the heart of the list, here we go at number 6. Here's Kyoto by Comme, Garçons. Now, why did Kyoto make this list? Well, we're reaching into night out territory with Kyoto, which I've yet to do on this list, so I definitely do need one of these scents after all. Also, this stuff is unique for its take on incense, which I love. It's more clean smelling with green and woody notes rather than the Old Testament and church-like smells Westerners may be used to when it comes to incense, and I think this right here is actually perfect for nights out in the spring. Like if I'm just heading to the pub with the boys to shoot darts or pool, and I want to smell interesting yet pleasant, I rock this stuff right here. But sadly, for a fragrance that you would think would perform on paper or off of your skin, it just doesn't right here. So if you've yet to check out my top 5 fragrances that I wish lasted longer, featuring Incense, please do so. I kind of elaborate on that there, but based on its clean take on Incense alone, barring its performance shortcomings, this stuff is worthy enough to take the number 6 spot. Again, it's Kyoto by Comme des Garçons, still a godlike spring night out scent for me. Next up, crossing the halfway point at number 5, here we go with Dragonfly by Zoologist Perfumes. Now, why did Dragonfly make the list? Real talk, Dragonfly is spring. We're talking wet rice fields, sweet florals, and a light musky nature reminiscent of a picturesque outdoor setting odor. So to me, there's not a more spring scent that I can think of, because that's verbatim what I get here in Dragonfly. It really is like a dragonfly's habitat, which is actually really awesome when you think about it. And then when I wear something like it, it just feels like spring, and I furthermore love it. It's my ultimate feel-good scent for this season, and I can't wait to get more wears out of this during warmer spring days outdoors in the near future. So if you're looking for an easy-to-wear, feel-good spring scent that no one else is remotely going to smell like, look no further. Try my number 5 here wherever you can. Again, it's Dragonfly by Zoologist Perfumes. Now moving on to Final 4 territory, here we go with my number 4 pick. It's Mojave Ghost by BYREDO. Now, why did Mogo make this list? Honestly, as much as I love the soap bar-like Amber Pour-On by Prada, I'm still craving a more unique kind of clean scent for the spring, and I think Mogo is perfect. This stuff opens up sweet and fruity before settling into a big clean floral that gets muskier as it dries down. Reminds me of what I want my linens to smell like, believe it or not, and that isn't disparaging whatsoever for an expensive scent, especially one that I think develops quite nicely off of me. But hey, not just me will say that, as it's historically one of my biggest performers and compliment getters as well. So if you're into something clean that you may potentially get good performance with as well as feedback, please check this out if you've yet to. Again, it's Mojave Ghost by BYREDO at number 4. Motoring along, here we go with my number 3 spot now. Here's Silver Mountain Water by Creed. Now, why does SM Water make the list? Well, if you've been watching this channel for a minute now, you know that I love the slightly inky, musky, refreshing tea scent that SM Water by Creed is. So it's a unique, safe scent with enough performance for a mundane workday and enough prestige when I want to smell my best. Like, I don't know how some of you may feel when you spray this on, but honestly, I feel like $1,000,000 when I wear this stuff. Like, SM Water to me is pure refreshing luxury. Its vibe automatically makes me want to pair it with a nice car and a Rolex or something like that. That's honestly how I feel. So if you love spring and you're into the finer things in life, check this out if you've yet to. Again, it's the versatile SM Water by Creed at number 3. Now moving on to my second place spot, which is still definitely an honor, of course. Here we go, it's Another 13 by Labo. Now, why does Another 13 make the list? Flat out, it's unique, it has more than adequate performance, and it gets me positive feedback. Now, detractors of this scent will claim that it's super synthetic smelling rather than natural smelling and whatnot, but honestly, I don't care. Labo wanted to create something here that's reminiscent of the paper smell from a freshly printed magazine, and that's kind of what we got here. Somehow, that somewhat fuzzy, musky, papery vibe is super wearable, and since it's synthetic for the most part, it actually performs really well and has gotten me noticed to my delight. Like recently, a couple weeks ago, homegirl told me, and I quote, "You smell incredible, what are you wearing?" And for me, that's the best kind of feedback. You know, when they compliment you with something super flattering but are interested enough to actually ask you what it is. So I personally love that, of course, and all I have to say now is look forward to this in my most complimented fragrances video later this year. You can pretty much bet on that one. But again, for now, it's my number 2 spring fragrance. It's Another 13 by Labo. But now we have reached the summit of this list. Here we go with my number 1 spring scent this year. Here's Lyric Man by Amouage. Now, why does Lyric Man make the list? Well, I love roses in perfumery, especially when I don't have to think too hard of when to wear them, which is undoubtedly the case for Lyric Man. Like, the stuff is super versatile because it kind of has a standard-ish breakdown, opens up citrusy with the lime, which is so juicy and awesome, but you get a big wet rose for the most part, which gets more powdery with the musk and dry down. So I'll reach for this in a suit or slightly dressed down or in chic streetwear and will just straight up feel good about myself in the spring when I am wearing it. On top of that, performance is super stellar as it will cut through the colder days but will still develop beautifully on warmer days without feeling too cloying. Also, I know some of you gentlemen are kind of suspect about rose, like you hear that word and you might automatically think too girly or whatnot, but if it makes you feel any better or worse, I actually get pretty good feedback with this from the ladies too. But hey, I'm just speaking for myself, so please try at your own risk. But in closing, again, like SM Water, I'll always have a bottle of this in my rotation somewhere. Again, it's my number 1 spring scent this year. It's Lyric Man by Amouage, aka Bars Man. Anyway, I think that's it for him. Hopefully you enjoyed my top 10 spring fragrances this year. Now again, I know this list is late, but I'm really still in winter mode here in Southern Ontario, Canada, so I honestly can say that a lot of this list's more fleeting options aren't even viable here until it even starts warming up a few weeks from now. So please keep that in mind when considering to try, test, or buy. But it's that time of the video where I'd love some of your own feedback. Like, what do you think of some of these fragrances, and which fragrances make your personal spring list? Please let me know in the comment section below. And if you've enjoyed this video or if it made you smile, please like and subscribe if you've yet to. Remember, 500 likes and a random subscriber in the comments gets an assorted niche fragrance sample pack. So help me help you, and until then, for now, salute and thank you for your time as always. Take care, Forum. Peace out. Bye. Wear your fragrances.